2020 cforce 600. It's going to be a quick review on this one, and then we're going to review my buddy's Yamaha that he just bought. So anyway, we'll start off. This is a 2020 cforce 600. This one's got roughly around 200 miles on it. Take a look here. Looks like it's got 189. This new CF Moto cforce has Bluetooth, which if you see the little Bluetooth icon on my phone just connected to it, it doesn't do anything special, but it will tell you while you're riding. It will tell you if you have a phone call, which is kind of cool, I guess. You know, if you're expecting a phone call while you're riding. Another thing I like about the CF Moto, the 2020 over the 2019s, are these headlights. Pretty cool. These are just the regular, like kind of like daytime running lamps, I believe. Let's see. These are actual lights. And then, let's see, turn them off. So those are your daytime running lamps here. And then you've got your low beam right there. And then your high beam right there. Pretty cool. Like the way the headlights look. Turn this back down here. I want to show you real quick the tail light. Another pretty neat little feature, as you can see. Sun shining in it, but it's got this long bar tail light as well. And then it's even got a pretty snazzy little brake light. And it even has reverse lights, which I thought was pretty neat, pretty bright. I've actually put it in reverse and set the parking brake before just to see behind me when I was messing with something. Anyway, those are a few things I like about it. Tell you a few quick facts on it. First of all, it's got a 41 horsepower engine. It's about 580 cc's, obviously advertised as a 600. HID lighting. They say it's HID lighting. Double A-arm suspension, 4 ways. So you got your double A-arms in the front. You got double A-arms in the back as well. That's the CV shaft that went. Less than 100 miles on it. Boot wore out. Had it replaced under warranty. Haven't had any issues since, but it's only got 200 miles on it, but they have been hard miles. This machine also has an 18% larger radiator than the 2019. And if you own or know somebody who has owned a 2019, you do know they have overheating issues. Largely in part to the fact that the radiator is too small for the size of the machine. These also have a 15% increased turning radius, which is huge. If you've had a 2019 or older, you'll know they don't turn very well. A 15% extra helps out a ton. Of course, power steering, and now this machine has 4-way disc brake, where the other one had 2 discs in the front, and then it had a differential brake in the back. If you don't know what a diff brake is, it's just a brake rotor attached to your rear differential drive shaft. Essentially, the brake pads will kick on, and that will slow you down from the rear end. And then, of course, everything comes with a 2,500-pound winch, bumpers, everything. The radiator I want to show you real quick. This is an easily removable cover. And then this just pops up. This cover in the front. I already loosened it to make it easier, of course, for video purposes. If you look down in here, main thing I've got to say is that the radiator is a lot easier to get to. I mean, a lot easier to get to. On the 2019s, it was a pain. If you look through the grill, you can see the radiator has a lot more grill space to breathe, and it's a lot larger. You can also see the radiator through the wheel wells here on either side. And let's see if I can get in there better. I can't really get a good shot of it, but either way, it's in there, and it's a lot easier to clean than the 2019s were. One major thing I have to point out with all of them I found so far, and everything that everybody said on forums online, is one of the first things you want to do is replace the air filter. It's pretty dirty under here, as you can see. This is 200 hours of riding. It hasn't been cleaned that much in here. Of course, the air filter, usually every time we go out, it's cleaned. But the air filter is the primary issue with these machines. They come with a stock air filter, and it's a paper filter with a sock over it, similar to the one I have in there now, except this one is actually more of like a mesh K&N air filter. What the problem is with the paper filters that they come with stock is that they're allowing dust particles to filter through and actually into the top end of the motor, and causing premature valve wear and so on. My buddy Joe's the master when it comes to that. He could tell you probably in great detail exactly what they wear. So first thing I did, replace the filter. Uni filter online, I believe this is a 2 1/4 inch inlet. Uni filters online are about $30–40 delivered. Highly recommend it. Another thing I don't really like about the cforce is this oil cover. It just kind of pops off like that. That's what you get. Oil filters in there. There's your dipstick. These goddamn rubber grommets. If you have a cforce, you know. They pop out. Forget them. They never go back in. So that's another thing I don't like about it. Other than that, I really don't have any other major complaints. It's a 600cc. It's not the fastest machine. I think I've had it up to maybe like 66 or 67. My buddy's Yamaha Wolverine, I have trouble keeping up with that. I mean, we keep up with each other, but his 450cc Wolverine with bigger tires is just as fast. Of course, that one's tuned. This one's stock. So, anyway, could be a little faster, but again, it's an 800-pound machine versus half the weight. So there's some fatness on here. The EPS really adds some weight. I do recommend it if you're looking for a good driving machine that's got power. The 600 is a good machine. They make a 500. I can't tell you much about that, other than all the reviews I've seen say the 500 and the 600 are almost identical when it comes to weight, speed, and power. There's not much of a difference in them. So you can get a 500 or a 600. You probably wouldn't be disappointed in either one. I personally just went with the 600. I wanted something with a little more power because I'm used to riding quicker machines. And I probably could have went with the 500, save myself a little money. But 600 is just a little bit bigger, and I'm happy with it. I looked at this over a Sportsman 570. I was extremely happy with this compared to the 570 price-wise. This was like $6,100 MSRP, where the Sportsman was like 81 or 76 MSRP. This one came to like just over 7 out the door, where the Sportsman with nothing, not even a bumper or winch, was a lot more. Once I added a winch and a bumper, it was like a $9,000. I'm just not spending that kind of money. I'm lucky I bought a brand new one. So anyway, like I said, this is going to be just a quick review. Suspension wise, it was really lumbery at first. It rode really rough, and then the suspension broke in a little bit more. Coilover, as you can see, I have absolutely no adjustment. I have not adjusted it at all. You can adjust all 4 suspension points to make it ride however you see fit. I have not adjusted anything. It is stock exhaust, 200 hours, 200 hard hours. Original tires. I mean, pretty much that's it until I have a chance to ride on it more. A lot of you guys complain about sticky shifting. The best remedy I can tell you about that is every time I shift, rock. So when it's in park, whatever the case may be, I rock the machine forward and backwards slightly as I'm trying to shift, and that seems to help take care of the not wanting to shift out of gear. It's a little tough when you're on a hill or on an incline, but if you're having a problem with your machine wanting to shift, you know, into drive or reverse or neutral, rock it back and forth as you're shifting, and it'll usually go. Also, another big thing I wanted to tell you, for those of you who haven't read your owner's manual, whatever, don't transport it in park on your trailer, because the parking pins will break, or the shifting linkage can snap, and it's just one of those inconvenient things you don't want to happen, especially when it's out of warranty, because then you got to tear it all apart. I've done a lot of research on snorkel kits for it, and so on and so forth, as far as what's involved with those. Rival is a company that makes snorkels and radiator relocation kits. Currently, they do not make one for the 2020 single seat. It's supposed to be soon, but you can get one for the 2019, or you can pretty much use just any type of generic snorkel kit as long as you have a little bit of know-how, and you don't want to spend $300 or $400 on a snorkel relocation kit. I haven't done anything to mine yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to. Be sure to make a video on it if I do. Again, Rival's the name of the company that makes a lot of aftermarket things for this machine. You can find them if you Google them, or Google CF Moto snorkel kit or radiator relocation. It'll bring up a lot. And Rival is sold through sidebysidestuff.com. You can buy exhaust tips for these. There's a guy that makes them, but he charges about $100 for them. I think it's a little much in my opinion, but you can get them on, I've heard the Grizzlies will take the same exhaust tip and bolt right on, so Grizzly apparently works as well. The other thing I like about this, I wanted to tell you real quick too, is it does have a dry cell. As you can see, it's dry even though it's dirty in there. We rode when it was really dusty. It's not dust proof, but it's dry. It's got a dry cell up here. Obviously, it's not going to hold. It's not going to hold out pressure washing, but it will hold out water while you're riding. It was enough for me to put my cell phone in there and be comfortable. So with that being said, I mean, that's pretty much it. I'm sure there's a lot of things I didn't cover. I have not had any mechanical issues at all. It's ran every single time I start it up. It doesn't burn any oil, doesn't smoke, it doesn't tick, doesn't knock. Like I said, the only issue I had was my CV boot had torn, and my CV bearing had went, and that was my first real hard ride to Tall Pines, the ATV park up here in New York, and that was it. That was the only major issue I've had, and I've ridden it pretty hard trying to keep up with dirt bikes and sport quads. So good four-wheeler, worth the money. I'll make more videos on it when I'm actually down riding it. If you guys have any questions about it or curious, just let me know. Otherwise, have a good one.